Hello, I'm Tomáš Mišura from Capturing Reality, and today's episode will be more art-directed. Also, I have an honorable guest with me today, a professional photographer Ivan Čaniga. His main focus is on art photography while using special composition and lighting techniques to achieve results like these. What you are now looking at are pure photos without any kind of retouching, compositing, coloring or other post-production methods. From 2013, Ivan holds a prestigious certificate called MQEP, which up to this date 8 European photographers have received.
Hi, my name is Ivan, and I thank you for giving me a chance to look at photography from a totally different point of view. You were telling me about photogrammetry for a while, and it's unbelievable what it's capable of.
Please tell us about your new project. This is more of a diorama modeling project, right?
Yes, I am trying to find new ways how to express myself. I am now creating a diorama environment with a fictional story behind. This is a story of desperate soldiers in a moody Warfield landscape. With the help of the smoke and lighting effects, I was trying to enhance the sadness and desperation of the field. While I am creating effects from my environment, everything is extremely difficult to handle. I need to capture the image on exact time, or the image is gone and I need to repeat the whole process again.
That's great. Could you tell us more about your planning and modeling process?
The first thing is to properly plan what I am trying to create. I need to draw a draft of composition which I will use as a reference. I need to know the exact size, list of materials, list of assets that I will need for the diorama. I am trying to use as many natural elements as possible to create true-to-life model, and every piece is carefully picked, such as dry branches or roots of plants or other natural structures. Since this diorama is large 120 by 80 centimeters, I have more space to work with, but I must focus even more on the level of details. In order to create these objects, it's very helpful to have a set of skills like sculpting, painting, and imagination to design such an environment. In the process of designing this diorama, it's very important to have a depth perception in order to make the terrain visually interesting and carefully place all created assets to fit the composition. That means I am placing larger objects to the background and smaller objects to the foreground. That's why I'm using classical sculpting and coloring techniques like these, using all different kinds of painter brushes to create various levels of details, color palettes and materials. But when I am trying to create effects like smoke and fire, there is always a possibility to destroy my creation if I will not do it with caution. But I heard there is a safer and more efficient technique by creating a digital twin 3D model using photogrammetry and RealityCapture.
Exactly. This is where my idea came. What if you had a digital twin 3D model of your diorama using RealityCapture? You could add some 3D and VFX elements to your scene, which would make your story even more immersive. And this is only start. The only barrier here is your imagination. Let's look at the photogrammetry and 3D post-production process from my point of view. For lighting setup, I was using a 120 parabolic octobox with 3000 watt Elinchrom strobe head in order to create nice and diffuse lighting. I have captured photos using Fujifilm X-T3 camera in half-cube camera alignment, while reviewing if there aren't any black or out of focus ones using flip LCD screen. Since I was using high-speed flashes, I didn't need to use a gimbal for stabilizing my shots. After that, I have copied raw files from the camera to Capture One in order to preview them, calibrate them, and create 2 adjustment presets. One was more contrast-based for geometry layer, and one mostly without shadows for texture layer. I have processed and exported JPEGs for geometry layer and TIFFs for texture layer. Then I have drag and dropped these image layers to RealityCapture, tweaked the alignment settings, and aligned them. After that I have narrowed the model via set ground plane, adjusted a reconstruction box, and processed a mesh on high detail. Since my GPU cannot view the model in suite view, I had to use clipping box. Here is one mistake I needed to fix. There are holes in the window, but I will show you a simple trick how to fix it. Just select these parts. By the way, you don't have to be very precise. Filter them out and use a clean model tool. It doesn't look the best now, but wait for the result after texturing is done. It will create a placeholder for high-resolution textures and nobody will notice it. After that, I have simplified the model to 4 million triangles and used some selective smoothing to smooth out the noise. And this is the simplified result. I really like these micro details on trees. I forgot to scale my model after alignment, so I am scaling it now and clicking on update. Next, I have created UV unwrapped with fixed pixel size setting and 8K textures for this selected high resolution model and pressed texture to create textures. This is how it looked like. Since I was pretty satisfied with the results, I have created UV unwrap for this 4 million triangle mesh and used the texture reprojection tool in order to transfer textures from high resolution model to this 4 million simplified model. I have also created normal maps in order to preserve high resolution details for rendering purposes. Lastly, I have exported the model as OBJ with textures and imported it to Blender 2.9. This is how the final composition for camera animation looks like. I wanted to enhance the Warfield theme and add some volumetric lighting and explosions on the top. I am using Eevee render engine for its real-time performance qualities. As you can see, I have enlarged the terrain around the diorama. These are basically some subdivided planes with a simple terrain procedural displacement shader and some color ramps to match the color palettes used in diorama. Also, there is some added volumetric lighting, a volume fog, and some explosions, which are open VDBs created in Embergen. Lastly, I have made some keyframes, stabilized camera positions, and rendered it using Eevee render engine. Now I am glad to show you how the final sequence looks like.